Right now in Windsor Essex County, 1 in 3 homes that hits the market is selling. That means 2 out of 3 homes are not. So if you're thinking about selling your home and you do not know which side of that you're going to land on, or if you're thinking about buying and you want to know whether this is actually the right time to make your move, you need to watch this video, because the official April 2026 number just came in and they tell a very specific story about exactly what is happening in this market right now, and I'm going to break it all down for you in simple language. My name is Kris Ramotar and I'm a realtor right here in Windsor Essex County at Remax Capital Diamond Realty, and I've been helping families just like you buy and sell homes in this area for 9 years. I've worked with over 160 families through some of the biggest financial, emotional, and stressful decisions of their lives. Every single week I pull the official data from the Windsor Essex County Association of Realtors and I break it all down for you in plain language. No fluff, no guessing, just real numbers and real talk, so you can make a confident decision for you and your family. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe, and if you have a question at any point in this video, drop it in the comments below and I will get back to you personally. Let us get into the numbers. The first thing you probably want to know is what is the average sale price of a home in Windsor Essex County right now. According to the official April 2026 weekly report, the average sale price this month was just over $572,000, and in April 25 the number was just under $579,000. That's a difference of about $6,500 year over year, a drop of just over 1%, less than 2 cents on every dollar. That is not a dramatic shift. This is a market holding its ground. And if you own a home in Windsor Essex County right now, that should give you some real comfort. Now I also want to share the median sale price with you, because honestly I think this tells you a more accurate story than the average does. The median sale price in April 2026 was just under $520,000 as compared to $535,000 in last April. That is a drop of just under 3% year over year. Here's why I like the median sale price and what I think you should pay attention to it. Unlike the average price, it is not pulled down by 1 or 2 very expensive or very cheap sales. It is the price sitting right in the exact middle of every transaction that happened this month. At just under $520,000, that is what a typical home sales actually look like in Windsor Essex County this April. This is the real middle of your market. Now let's talk about how many homes actually sold. In April 2026, just under 440 residential homes sold in Windsor Essex County. And in April of last year, the number was just over 450 homes. That is down roughly by 3.5% year over year. Fewer sales than last April, but not a dramatic gap. What it does actually tell you is that buyers right now are being very careful. They're taking longer to make a decision, and some homes are sitting on the market without selling. We know that because new listing in April 2026 came in at just over 1,300 homes. Of that, just under 440 homes sold, roughly 1 in 3 homes. 2 out of 3 homes did not. This is the market you are operating in right now, and understanding that one number changes how you need to think about buying or selling in Windsor Essex County today. I really want you to pay attention to this section, because this is where the data gets very practical for you. The official weekly report breaks down every single sale by price range, and it tells exactly where buyers in Windsor Essex County are actually spending their money right now. The most active price range in April 2026 was $550,000 to just under $600,000. There were just over 50 sales in that bracket alone. This is the single busiest segment in the entire market right now. If your home is priced in that range and it shows well, you are sitting in the most active part of the Windsor Essex County real estate market today. Just below that, the $500,000 to $550,000 price range had just over 40 sales, and the $600,000 to $650,000 price range had just under 40 sales as well. When you add those 3 brackets together, that $500,000 to $650,000 range accounted for well over 130 sales in April alone. That is far the most active segment in the market right now. If you're a seller in that price window, you have the largest pool of active buyers looking at homes like yours. Now let us look what is happening below the $500,000 price range, because there is real activity there too, and I want you to see it clearly. The $450,000 to $500,000 range had just over 40 sales. The $420,000 to $450,000 range had just under 30 sales. And as you move through the $300,000 to $420,000 range, you still see consistent sale in nearly every bracket. If your budget is under $500,000, What this tells you is that other buyers are competing in the same space. Homes at that price point are moving, which means if you are serious about buying in that range, having your financing pre-approved before you write an offer is not optional. It is absolutely necessary. Now, at the top end of the market, I want to share something that might actually surprise you. The $1 million to just under $1.5 million range had just over 20 sales in April. The $800,000 to $900,000 range had 25 sales. And there were even a handful of sales above $2 million price point. That tells you the higher end of the market in Windsor Essex County is alive and active. Buyers at that level are very selective and careful, but they are absolutely making moves. And at the very entry level, under $300,000, the sales were very thin. Only about 35 sales across every bracket under $300,000 combined. That reflects a real lack of supply at the price point, not a lack of buyers wanting to get in. Just not enough homes available at that entry level right now. If that is your budget, you need to know your options are going to be very limited and you need to be ready to move quickly when something does come up. Okay, let's zoom out and look at 2026 as a whole, because this is a clear and consistent pattern developing this year, and I think you need to see it. Year to date, through April 2026, there have been just under 1,350 homes sold in Windsor Essex County. At this point in 2025, there were just over 1,400 homes sold. Yes, that is down just 5%. Year to date, listings are sitting at just under 3,900 compared to just under 3,850 in 2025, almost identical. Roughly the same number of homes are coming to the market, but fewer of them are selling. The average sale price year to date in 2026 is just over $552,000. A year ago, at this point, it was just over $574,000. This is down just under 4% for the year so far. Now, here's a number I really want you to pay attention to. The median sale price year to date in 2026 is $550,000, and last year it was $550,000, completely flat, 0% change. That tells you that right in the middle of the market, prices have not moved at all through 2026. The core of this market is stable, and that matters to you whether you're buying or selling. So what is the trend actually telling you? Buyer demand has softened slightly compared to 2025. Not disappeared, softened. Families still want to buy homes in Windsor Essex County, but they are being very deliberate about it. They are taking their time, they're being selective, and in many cases they are watching what happens with things outside of real estate that are affecting how confident they feel right now. Think about what your neighbors are dealing with. The trade situation between Canada and the United States is still unsettled. Windsor Essex County is a border community. The auto industry, manufacturing, and cross-border trade affect families here in a very direct and personal way. You feel that in a way that most of the rest of Ontario simply does not. Then there's a situation in the Middle East pushing gas and energy prices up. The cost of living feel elevated for most families right now. And even though interest rates have come down significantly from where they were in 2023, they are still part of every conversation when a family is thinking about buying a home. All of that together is why buyers in 2026 are being very careful, and you can see it clearly in the data month after month. And I totally agree with them. If I were them, I would be very careful as well, because as I mentioned, there's a lot of variables that's going on right now in our market and in the world. Last week, the Bank of Canada announced it's holding its overnight lending rate at 2.25%. This is the fourth hold in a row. The rate has been sitting at this level since October. Let me explain what it actually means for you in plain language, because I want you to understand this clearly. The overnight rate influences what bank charges for mortgages. Right now, the prime rate at most banks is sitting just under 4.5%, and the best variable rate I've seen so far is around 3.35%. The 5-year fixed rates are sitting over 4%. Why did the Bank of Canada hold instead of cutting rates? The conflict in the Middle East pushed oil and energy prices up sharply. That pushed Canada inflation rate to just over 2.5% in March. The bank does not want to lower rates while inflation is heading in the wrong direction, so they're holding steady and watching carefully how things unfold. Now, here's what this actually means for you and your family. If you're thinking about buying, your rate hold means your pre-approval is still valid and your monthly mortgage payment has not changed overnight. You can plan with real confidence because you're not chasing a moving target. And that kind of predictability is genuinely helpful when you are trying to make one of the biggest financial decision of your life. And if you're thinking about selling, the buyers who want your home can still qualify for a mortgage today. The rate hole has not pushed them out of the picture. Your pool of potential buyers is still there and it is still active. The next Bank of Canada announcement is set in June 10th in this year, and most economists are projecting the rate stays where it is through the rest of this year. A stable rate environment is actually a really good time to make a realistic decision whether you're buying or selling, but it all depends on your personal situation. Let me talk to you directly if you're thinking about selling your home in Windsor Essex County right now. The April 2026 data is telling a very clear story. Homes that are priced correctly based on real comparable sales are moving. Homes that are not sitting in that 2 out of 3 pile I mentioned early in the start of this video, and I do not want you to be your experience. So here's what I want you to know. Your price has to be backed by data and only data, not what you paid for your home, not what you hope to get, not what you sold 2 years ago when the market was very different. What you need to look at is what actually sold in your area in the last 60 to 90 days in homes that are comparable to yours in size, style, and condition. This is how we arrive at the right number together. And getting that number right now from day one is the single most important thing you could do for yourself in this market. Condition matters more than it has in years, and I want to be direct with you about that. Buyers right now have choices and they're being very selective. If your home is clean, well maintained, and shows well, it stands out from everything else competing for the same buyer's attention. If it needs work and the price does not reflect that, you can expect either a very long waiting period or a low offer that comes in loaded with conditions. Your marketing has to be professional and it has to be everywhere. Professional photography, video, social media campaigns, email marketing, active buyers and sellers, full MLS exposure. Every single buyer who's actually looking for a home like yours in Windsor Essex County right now needs to know that your home exists. And I want to prepare you for the real negotiation because they are longer right now than they have been in years. Buyers are asking for home inspections conditions. They're asking for mortgage financing conditions. Some of them need to sell their home first before they can commit to yours. That is the reality of this market. Know your bottom line ahead of time. Stay calm when the back and forth starts, and trust a process that is backed by solid data and a clear strategy. At roughly 52 to 56 days on the average to sell right now, this is not a 2-week process. Patience is part of your strategy. The sellers who are doing well right now are the ones who came in prepared, priced correctly, and ready to work through a real negotiation. Now let me talk directly to you if you're thinking about maybe buying a home in Windsor Essex County. I want to be very clear with you about something. The data right now is generally in your favor, and I want you to understand exactly what it means for you. You have more choices than buyers have had in several years, with a listing up slightly year over year and fewer sales happening overall. There is more inventory available than we have seen in a while. That means you could actually find a home that fits your life and your family instead of settling for whatever happens to be available just because you're afraid to miss out. You're most likely not going to be in a bidding war. Competing against 8 or 10 other families in 48 hours is not what most buyers are dealing with right now in Windsor Essex County. You have time to do a proper home inspection. You have time to review your financing carefully. You have the time to sleep on it and think through it properly, and you have real negotiating power right now. Buyers are successful negotiating on price, on conditions, on closing dates, on repairs. That's the kind of leverage almost impossible to get a few years ago. Use it. You have earned it just by being in the market at this particular time. But here's what I need you to hear. Prepared buyers still win even in a market that favors them. Get your mortgage pre-approval done before you start looking at homes. Know your budget, know the difference between what you need and what you want. And when the right home comes along at the right price in Windsor Essex County, be ready to move with confidence. Good homes at the right price still attract attention even in this market. The buyers who are prepared take advantage. The buyers who are not end up watching opportunities go to someone else. I want to spend a minute on this because it really does matter in a market like this, and I think it is something that does not get talked about enough. The agent you choose makes a real measurable difference in your outcome. Here's what I would look for if I were in your shoes. Need to be a local Windsor Essex County realtor. Real estate is hyper-local. You want to have someone who knows what's sold in your area last month, what buyers in this specific market are asking for right now, and what the data is actually telling us. An agent who's not working in Windsor Essex County every single day does not have that depth of knowledge. Ask them directly how many homes they have sold here. Ask for their real numbers. How many transactions have they completed? Those numbers tell you how effective they are when it actually counts. Not just what they say in a listing presentation, but what the data shows. Let them show you. Make sure they communicate clearly and consistently. You need someone who will explain things to you in plain language, keeps you informed at every single step, and is genuinely available when you have a question or a concern. You should never feel like you're the one that's chasing your own agent out for updates. And trust how you feel in that very first conversation. You're going to be working closely with this person through one of the biggest financial and emotional decisions of your life. You deserve to feel genuinely heard, respected, and looked after, not sold to. The right agents bring local knowledge, real data, honest advice, and a clear strategy to every conversation. And in this market, that combination is what makes the difference between a smooth, confident experience and a stressful one. So here's where Windsor Essex County standing in April 2026. The average sale price was just over $572,000, down just over 1% from just under $579,000 in April 2025. The median sale price was just under $520,000, just under 440 homes sold out of just over 1,300 homes listed, roughly 1 in 3. The busiest price range was between $500,000 to $650,000 with well over 130 homes sold. Year to date, sales are down just under 5%, and the median price for the year is holding completely flat at $550,000. We're in a balanced market and leaning towards a buyer's market. The Bank of Canada held its overnight lending rate at 2.25%. If you're buying, you have choices, you have time, and you have negotiating power. If you're selling and you're priced correctly and well presented, you are selling. If you're not, you're waiting. This is what a normal real estate market looks like right now. And if you know how to navigate it, there are real opportunities for you on both sides of the table. If you want to know what your home is worth right now, or if you just want a straight, honest conversation about what your next move looks like for you and your family, reach out to me directly, call or text me. No pressure, no pitch, just real information to help you make the right decision for you and your family. And if this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with someone you know who is thinking about buying or selling or making a move to or within Windsor Essex County. It genuinely helps more families find this information. That is exactly why I do this every single week. I'm Kris Ramotar, a local Windsor Essex County realtor with Remax Capital Diamond Realty. I will see you soon. Take care. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great month. Bye now. See ya.